The people who told us Trayvon Martin was a teen angel and Michael Ferguson was a gentle giant are back. This time, they're telling us they are really telling us the truth. This time they're telling us about Martese Johnson at the University of Virginia. Hi, this is Colin Flaherty, author of Don't Make the Black Kids Angry. Here we talk about black mob violence, black on white crime, racial violence of all kinds, all without racism, without rancor, without apology. Now, you may have already seen some of this video on Martese. He's getting subdued by these cops at the University of Virginia. He didn't like it. He started bleeding. But now, the days after this scuffle, we learn that it's not just about Martese. It's about how black people are relentless victims of relentless white racism all the time, everywhere. And that explains everything. And it's happening all over the country. And gosh darn it, we got to pat Martese and his buddies on the back for standing up for what is right. So why don't we take a quick look at Martese, but then let's look at what's happening around the rest of the country right around the same time as Martese. And you tell me if there is a war on black people or if it is the other way around.
Wait, give me your phone.
I go to UVA. I go to UVA, you fucking. I go to UVA, you fucking. You fucking racist. You fucking racist. What the fuck? How did this happen? How did this happen, you racist?
Yo,
how did this happen?
They were just like, yo, what is?
How did this happen?
Check your ID.
How did this happen, you fucking racist? You fucking racist.
Yo, was that necessary, yo?
He said he's getting huge support online, not only there on campus. We heard from his attorney that they're getting lots of pats on the backs as they walked across campus saying and showing support for him. But he's getting huge support online as well on social media. I'm wondering if that makes a difference in how students there are feeling today.
It does indeed. I mean, we are very encouraged and uplifted by the fact that so many people around the nation have come to our support and are seeking of justice for Martese in this tragic event that happened. I mean, police brutality is something that's been happening all around the nation, and it sucks that it has had to come this close to home for people around this community to finally start talking about it. Happy guy, that's the number one thing I would say. He's such a very happy and positive, energetic person.
How did this happen?
They were just like, yo, what is?
How did this happen?
Check your ID.
How did this happen, you fucking racist?
Police say the overnight arrest of 15-year-old Tafide Hamilton wraps up their more than week-long manhunt for 3 murder suspects. Overbrook's James Stillman was shot and killed last week as he walked his dog through his neighborhood. Surveillance video indicated it was a robbery attempt. Police were soon able to focus on Hamilton and his Overbrook High School mate, Brandon Smith, who's been locked up as well. A 14-year-old is also in custody. Overnight, in the 2800 block of Midvale, Hamilton's parents surrendered him to a heavily armed contingent of police.
How did this happen, you fucking racist?
Some of Stillman's neighbors are still in shock in the wake of the crime, and word of the final arrest is little relief.
It's just very traumatizing for all of us. That's all.
The suspects are telling police it was a random robbery attempt.
In this neighborhood, in this city, robbery and murder is not a random thing. If you're white and you are robbed, the chances are hundreds and hundreds and hundreds to one your robber, your murderer, is black. Cops know that. Reporters know that. They just won't say it.
Here's a guy that, according to what I'm hearing, asked that they not kill him, but they shot him anyway.
A black student organization at the University of California, Berkeley, demanding that the university rename a building on campus after a former Black Panther who is also a convicted cop killer. Assata Shakur was convicted in the shooting death of a New Jersey state trooper back in 1973. She's still on the run, probably in Cuba. The student group sees her as, quote, an icon of resistance.
We want the renaming into someone, Assata Shakur, who we feel like represent us as black students.
How did this happen, you fucking racist?
Really? Well, the student group has 9 other demands, including the creation of an African-American student center and the hiring of black psychologists experienced in racial discrimination.
How did this happen, you fucking racist?
This yellow crime scene tape marked the spot where a neighborhood was turned upside down late today.
It was almost like a war zone.
For those who live along Timber Trail near Meadowbrook Middle School in Pine Hills, that characterization is almost spot on. The Orange County Sheriff's Office got emergency calls just after 5 o'clock as a brawl erupted in this intersection. Jose Mendez was mowing his lawn when the trouble brewed.
It was so many happening in a flash. In a minute.
Mendez told Eyewitness News he saw at least 50 people screaming, yelling, and throwing punches, even bricks.
They throw a brick to the crowd. Then they smash the front window of one of the cars.
Then things got worse. One gunshot was fired, a woman was stabbed, and as people fled, a Florida Highway Patrol trooper said a woman struck a 10-year-old boy with her car. This neighbor didn't want to show her face.
She could have hit 2 or 3 of us. You know, we all had to scatter. We all had to run. We all had to get out of the way because it was like just a desperate situation, you know.
A situation believed to have started over a day-old dispute involving some teens.
How did this happen, you fucking racist?
New at 5, we are hearing from a brave young teenager who fought off her attackers during a robbery attempt in the Bronx. And it was all caught on camera. The petite girl taking on 3 men as they tried to take her cell phone. Eyewitness News reporter Darla Miles talked with her.
That little peanut, she fought back.
Cornered 3 against 1. A man places 18-year-old Brittany Leisure in a chokehold. Another grabs at her cell phone, backing her into a railing.
It didn't hurt really because they didn't grab me that hard. But kind of neck area, yeah, it kind of hurt because they put me in a chokehold like that. And they said, kill her. They said, kill her, kill her, kill her.
How did this happen, you fucking racist?
The surveillance video begins with the 3 men following the teen into an entryway of an apartment building. One of them throws a bottle at her, striking her in the back. When you turned around, what did you say to them?
I decided to leave me alone. I'm not moving for this, just leave me alone.
The teen screamed for dear life and resisted with all of her will until they ran away.
She says, Mom, I yelled, help me, help me. I said, oh my God. I said, sweetheart, I didn't hear that. If I would have grabbed a cane by the door or something that we have, and I would have run down. Believe me, I would have beaten the Brooklyn out of them.
One of the suspects is believed to be 5'9", the other about 5'7". Leisure, who was well under 5 feet tall, stood up to them both and managed to walk away without any injuries and her cell phone. When you saw the video, you surprised yourself?
Yeah, because I was kind of brave. I'm looking back, I was kind of brave.
There's a picture of 52-year-old Antonio Morales in a makeshift memorial at the scene of the murder just outside the McDonald's on Bedford Street in Stamford. Police say he had just stepped outside with a cup of coffee when he bumped into a 15-year-old boy and his friends. A boy police believe is to be tried as an adult for murder.
Looks like the victim tried to apologize to get away from these guys. Unfortunately, the 15-year-old juvenile was the instigator and kept going at him.
Also charged with murder and in jail unless he posts $2 million bail is 22-year-old James McLam of New Haven. Police say McLam was assaulting Morales when the boy was stabbing Morales in the heart.
How did this happen, you fucking racist?
The suspect shot Carmichael multiple times and escaped before police arrived at the home. Chief Dubose says tracking those suspects down is something police have been hard at work on since they found Carmichael's body, many putting in more than 19 hours in a day.
How did this happen, you fucking racist?
Near a little dirt road so neglected you can't read the sign anymore, police say a man approached Jeremiah Trice, Jairus Kelly, and a 15-year-old were not identifying. The 3 suspects said they would sell the man some drugs and got in the man's car and had him drive down the dirt road. Then police say they shot him and took his money.
It's very callous, and these 3 young lives to be involved in this and to take a life, it's hard for us to imagine.
3 individuals. Police say one of them, Trice, is the one who carried and fired the gun. People in the neighborhood know the 3. So do police.
How did this happen, you fucking racist?
Monday morning at Eastwood Terrace apartment complex. Residents start venturing out of their government-subsidized apartments around noon. The talk on the street by all ages was the fight the night before involving a crowd of about 50 to 70 people.
The people that don't even live out here that be starting to fight, that's what I heard them out here last night, saying these people don't even stay out here.
Children talk of seeing a gun and finding a knife.
Somebody dropped it on the ground.
Children and adults say they heard tasers before police arrived. Police can't verify the street talk and continue their investigation, which began on this playground where youngsters hung out today. Witnesses say young adults and teens had been arguing there all day Sunday. Around 6:30 that evening, police were called to a large fight when a 15-year-old with stab wounds walked up to the officer for help.
I have a kid. I don't feel like they should cut on kids. That's not right.
A police spokesman said such large fights are common during spring break. Charles Curl, who grew up in Eastwood, agrees.
The only thing they do is just run around and gang up with each other, and I mean, they have nothing to do, so that divert them to do no other choice but to do what they do.
This last one doesn't involve the most amount of violence, but this might be the worst one of all. So let's finish on this. I'm going to give this one its own separate video. So a bunch of black people are breaking into the house of a white family. A kid sees them, scares them away. A couple weeks later, kids getting off a school bus. Same kids are waiting for him on the school bus. They're going to beat him up. He runs away, runs to his house, finds his brother. They're outside beating up his brother. He calls his neighbor. The neighbors come running with a bat. The neighbors use the bat to defend themselves against the people who are beating, the black people who are beating up the white kids. Cops come, they arrest the guy with the bat who was trying to defend the white kids who were being attacked by the black kids. The news coverage on this, the police coverage is amazing. We're going to get into it more. I'll look for the video on this. But in the meantime, I have to ask you one last question one more time.
How did this happen, you fucking racist?
This is all tip of the iceberg stuff. If you want to learn about the greatest lie of our generation, the hoax of black victimization, you've got to pick up Don't Make the Black Kids Angry. That's the only account that gives a complete accounting what's happening all over the country again and again and again. This is Colin Flaherty. Talk to you next time.